Hello YouTube, hello MGTOW, this is me MGTOW on the win. And hello fellow Quasars. For you, if you consider yourself a Quasar, welcome to the family. We're gonna take a little journey down this here rabbit hole. We're also gonna walk the line. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole, and we're gonna navigate our way back. We're gonna be using night vision for this, because that's where people make a mistake. Is they don't use night vision. They don't bring their NVGs and extra batteries, the night vision goggles and extra batteries. Yes, we're gonna go down a black pill hole. I know we're gonna go a little deeper than I've been. So we're gonna journey this together. Now, some people noticed that even though I don't consider myself a black pill, I do talk about black pill content a little bit. I do walk that line. I do go pretty deep into a rabbit hole. But I cheat. I don't go in blindly. Now, my military training and the way I grew up and my autism does not allow me to get overly emotional without reason. For some that is a blessing and a curse. That is both a blessing and a curse. The blessing is I'm able to still see reason. I'm able to still see when I've gone too far. The curse is it compiles inside of me. It does compile inside of me. Well, let's start with the rabbit hole. I'm going to attempt to delve into my inner self. That's probably going to be later on in the video. Now, we understand about female nature. We understand how, well, let me see, behavior. Let me rephrase that. Behavior. I want you to look back in history. The 1800s. And location. Now, the 1800s, there's a difference between the East Coast and the West Coast. The Northeast and the West Coast. They called it the Wild, Wild West. And the East Coast was more of an English influence. I call today the second coming of Untamed America. But that was the first time of Untamed America where they were attempted to tame the West, where they had tamed the West. Now, we're back when pistols like Peacemakers, Colt 45s, and mother of pearl handle grips were popularized. Where innovation in firearm technology was first argued. For the Winchester, when repeating Winchester rifle like the 1807 and the Springfield made their debuts. When they stopped using flintlock pistols in duels, in fighting combat duels, and they used more along the lines of Bowie knives, where they discarded their swords and traded them for Bowie knives, knuckle dusters. That was when it was untamed. The women on the East Coast were more reserved and more along the lines of homemaker. The women on the West Coast were more wilder, more brash, more manipulative, and the town ran on the women's. It didn't get passed unless the women approved of it. No, it's not much different than today. It's really not much different than today. The only difference is, instead of having firearms to protect yourself, you have firearms licensed or otherwise, to get yourself arrested. That's the only difference. Instead of having a tame America all across the board, it isn't the Wild Wild West anymore. It is now the Wild America, the second coming of the Wild America. Now, but the majority of the animals were fearful of humans. This is the second coming of the Wild America. Now the animals are beginning to fear human beings less and less. Why? Because the times are coming where they don't have to fear them anymore. Where human beings are so emotional and sympathetic to animals, where they don't have nothing to fear, where they walk among us and hunt us now. And we are taught to try to accept it with a narrative. Where if we were to try to hunt for our own food, we would need a license. If we were to try to fish, we would need a license. Think about it. Where a system that is trying to take away everything from you, including your freedom of thought, which is a book I think you should read or get on audiobook. It's called 1985, I think it is, 1986. It's a really accurate book of what today's thought process is. it tells you if the book was written in like before, like during World War One. Another book that I'm looking at is Dangerous Superstitions. I haven't finished 1985, 80, I think it's 84 yet, but I'm going to finish it. There's some pretty disturbing things in this book, that pertains to today's politics. To me, I think it should have been 2087. 2087. Because nobody's able to see reason anymore. Nobody, the left and right do not know what they're doing. Do not know what each other's doing. The times are coming where the only way you're going to even make to where everything's going to reset. Where it's going to be a reset. A mass reset. A mass reset of ideas. A mass reset of politics. A mass reset of nature. Where the wild man is going to have the benefit. Is going to have the benefit. The intelligent wild man is going to have the benefit. The man who can survive on his own in the world is going to have a benefit. Right now I'm gathering the batteries for my. Right now I've already had a little bit of batteries. I'm double checking my equipment before I go down this rabbit hole. Now, these 4 years may or may not be a reprieve. Maybe these 4 years may or may not have been a reprieve. A slight breath of air before the mass reset of society. These next 4 years, we don't know what direction we're going to go. This is a lost direction where we don't know what's going on. Now these next 4 years are going to be another reprieve before everything collapses. Or everything's going to go south. We don't know. We're not sure on the mindset. Now let's delve into the rabbit hole that is my mind. Now, many people would look at my life and see, and who was not raised how I was raised, and would say that it would be abuse. I don't see it that way. A lot of people do not see it that. I mean, my family doesn't see it that way. I'd say it is mental hardening. I see it as mental hardening. I cannot see it as any form of abuse. I cannot see it as any form of mental distress. It hardened me. Now, I don't have the emotional portion of Black Pill. I do not have the in tune with the emotions of Black Pill. I may never get it, and if I do get it, it would probably shut me off of Black Pill until I could access it again. I'm not in touch with my emotions. I may never be. I've made improvements in my life. I take rest whenever I can. Last night I had a pretty good meditation session for myself. I actually dreamed. An older man told me something a long time ago when I was working, before I got in the military. You can't fight the world. I understand that. But by nature, how I was raised, I still want to fight the world. I still always tried. I'm still fine. Every now and then I still see myself trying to fight with the world. Then I have to pull myself back. I know where my faults are. The parts of red pill is the knowing where you fall short. Parts of MGTOW is the knowing where you fall short. Parts of black pill is knowing where you fall short. But black pill is the more extreme version of that. To know where you fall short, you have to know a lot about yourself. And continue to be willing to learn more about yourself. I can't go that deep inside of the rabbit hole. But I have to. It's exhausting. It is very exhausting. The reason now here's the turn where we're gonna delve into the part where where all daylight is null and void, and you have to turn your IR flashlight on, which drains battery. Now, we all know a lot about the behavior of human beings. Men build it based on their request. If there's based on faith that they're going to be able to procreate. Everything we have built is built on faith of procreation. All the way back to the Stone Age. Faith of procreation. Women would gravitate toward men that were strong or resourceful. I don't mean resourceful as in, innovative. Resourceful, like they had resources, they had innovations, they had ways of doing things. They had ideas that came to fruition. A freaking disabled man if he made an innovation like agriculture, a disabled man would be able to procreate. because they had an innovation. Wearing animal fur clothes, or going from animal furs to cloth. Animal furs were heavier, cloth was a little lighter. And more comfortable, a little more comfortable. You didn't have to work to tan them. The equipment got bigger, the clothes got lighter. Women would flock to that. Would flock to that. Like as of today. Steve Jobs with the iPhone, Elon Musk with the Tesla and the SpaceX program. Women would, if given the chance, any woman would throw themselves at Elon Musk's feet. Why? Because he has the resources, because he has the innovation. He has the idea. He has the aspects of a business, of business ethics. He has the ideals. He has science. He has math. He has monetary gain behind his belt. He has the technological innovation behind him. There's not much that he doesn't have behind him supporting him. You have to understand that with innovation comes resources. Yes, it sucks. But the times are coming quickly. The times are approaching where those who have a survivalist mindset will become the new Elon Musk, will become the new Steve Jobs. Those who have a survivalist instinct, a survivalist way of doing things, will have the cards. Now being red pill, black pill, MGTOW, actually being black pilled, you learn that the games, that working against other content creators is not beneficial. Just because you have a disagreement with them, bashing their channel does not benefit you, both emotionally and psychologically. Now, I haven't delved far enough into black pill. I've delved far into MGTOW and red pill. What is bashing? To be honest with you, I got a question, MGTOW. I got a question, red pill. I got a question, black pill. I got a question for everybody. What does putting other people's channel do for you? Some of you might take this as an attack on your personality, on your personnel. But what in the world does bashing channels do to you? What does it do for you? Does it make you feel better? Do you feel some sort of enlightenment? Do you feel some sort of gratitude? By stopping on channels, stopping on YouTube channels. What are you gonna do when you're down and out and nobody wants to help you again? What are you gonna do? That's a good question. What are you gonna do when you've burned all of your bridges? But that's beside the point. I'm doing this from the outside, looking in. I had to remove myself from the situation. And then we have people who like to comment, who like to comment on MGTOW and do not know a thing about MGTOW. Who try to put MGTOW into categories. Who, instead of trying to put documents to channels, try to do the job of Urban Dictionary. But this is MGTOW to win. And I do my own thing a lot, you know. Anybody who's been on my channel for a while knows that I'm not gonna sit here and just be a part of some narrative. They know it's not me, and they know I'm gonna do my own thing in my own corner. This is MGTOW to win. Signing off.